Hello, Miss Lineberger. Today I have three of my family members here to watch my speech. We are currently on a spring break trip in Colorado, so that's why we are in our hotel room. So, carbon plated shoes in today's running world are very misunderstood. A lot of runners think that they should wear carbon plated shoes for all of their runs, a lot of their runs, as long as they want to, and so that's just not the case. So, common misunderstandings are wearing carbon plated shoes for too long, wearing carbon plated shoes too much, and not running fast enough paces to reap the benefits of carbon plated shoes. So we'll get started with that. First one is wearing carbon plated shoes too much. Now, the next point is wearing carbon plated shoes too long, and for this point, as focusing on wearing carbon plated shoes over and over again, like day by day, like 7 days of a week. All of your runs are in these shoes. You don't wear it. You don't wear another pair. You don't wear an everyday trainer, and so it's very stressful on your body to wear a carbon plated shoe. Period. If you wear it too much, or if you wear it at all, it's going to be stressful on your mainly your lower extremities, like your ankle and your foot. It's going to place heavy stress on those extremities. And so for the next point, like I was talking about earlier, wearing carbon plated shoes too long. This kind of goes with the first point for just generally having them too much, but this one kind of gears towards in total. So a total volume of mileage put on these shoes. A rule of thumb among the runners is about 150 to 200 miles is when you really want to probably call it a quits and get you a new pair or switch to some trainers or whatever you're doing. The risk for a carbon plated shoe overuse is a lot higher than a risk for a trainer overuse. Both are risks. So for a trainer, about 400 to even sometimes 500 miles are good in a trainer, and that's when. But after that, you're going to want to switch it up and get a new shoe. But if you go over the limit in a trainer, yes, your injury risk is going up, but it's not going up near as much as if you go over the limit in a carbon plated shoe. You go over the limit in a carbon plated shoe and your injury risk spikes very high. So that's why if you're going to have carbon plated shoes and you're going to run in them, you need to be very careful and not go over any type of limits, whether it be daily limits, weekly limits, or just overall volume limits. And also, some of the research I did was over the certain foams. There's two main types of foams in the shoe. The foam itself that surrounds the carbon plate and holds the shoe stable, and a certain type of foam can withstand a little bit more mileage than the other one. So for the research I did, the first one I went over was talking about the stress it places on the lower extremities, like the ankle and the foot. And then the next research I did was over the volume limits of the carbon plated shoe, which we said earlier was about 150 to 200 miles. And then for the last one, I talked about who should be wearing carbon plated shoes. If you are an everyday hobby jogger and you are going out there and just going through the motions and just doing it kind of like with no goals in mind, then you more than likely don't need to be wearing a carbon plated shoe. Only because you don't reap the benefits of the carbon plated shoe as much, if at all, depending on how fast or slow you're running, because you do not get that energy return. When you hit the ground running a 5-minute mile pace, you get a lot of energy back. When you hit the ground running a 10-minute mile pace, you don't get as much energy back. The carbon plated shoe is not going to run for you, but you're still stepping on that carbon plate, which increases your injury risk, but it does not help you in almost any way. So you're not getting helped if you're running slow, but you're increasing your injury risk. So at that point, it's just smarter to get an everyday trainer and swap them out every 400 to 500 miles and just completely bypass that injury possibility. So for personal experience, I've been a runner for 7 years, a distance runner, and I run in carbon plated shoes. I currently have the Nike Vaporfly, which was in the bottom right here. I run my workouts and some of my races in carbon plated shoes, but I avoid them as much as possible. I have more trainers. I run a whole lot of miles in my trainers and a select amount of miles in my carbon plated shoes. So that's just personal experience from a runner who does use carbon plated shoes. But like I said, I avoid them as best as possible because the injury risk is high. So in conclusion, we talked about runners who wear carbon plated shoes too much daily. That's not good. You don't want to go probably back-to-back days, maybe even 3 days in a row without wearing some trainers. We talked about runners who wear the carbon plated shoe for too long, too much mileage, too much volume. That's no good. That's going to spike your injury risk. And then we talked about who should be wearing carbon plated shoes and who doesn't get benefits and who does. So I'll leave you with this. All runners who wear carbon plated shoes will be at higher risk for injury, period. That's just a fact because the carbon plated shoe spikes injury, but it can be helpful in certain instances. Thank you.